morning, everybody. This is Caroline Hunter with AmeriEstate Legal Plan, and I have Michelle Reese-Johnson, and you can see John Knickerbocker on this webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Today, our town hall meeting is for our business partners, and we are focusing on helping you identifying that viable client. Because I know sometimes if this isn't something that is part of your daily routine, your daily business, we're here to go ahead and help you, give you the tools so you can identify those viable clients and then bring in additional revenue. So we're just going to give it a couple minutes while we've got people joining us. Let's just give it about a minute or two. Let's see, our town hall meetings, we're definitely doing these on a monthly basis. We're gonna hopefully in the next month or two start doing them maybe twice a month. And we try and pick topics that we feel will help our business partner platform agents generate more business or help them with marketing materials, help them reach out to clients and just give them the tools necessary to help them build a better business for themselves. And one other thing that we're really excited for is we're going to be updating, actually not even updating, we're going to be completely redoing our business partner portal, our whole website. So look for that by summertime this year, and it'll be a great additional resources for everybody. So we're really excited about that. All right, well, let's see, we've got more people coming in, but let's go ahead and get started. Again, this is our town hall meeting, and we're here to help you reach out and identify a viable client to bring in more revenue for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to John, and he'll go ahead and get things started.
Oh, thanks, Caroline. Hi, everyone. There's about, in regards to identifying clients, I think a lot of you probably know who needs a living trust, but to just kind of review the top reasons, the top ways you can identify folks that you should be, bringing this up to, that's what we want to touch on, is just kind of reiterate who needs a living trust, who are your prospects, who should you be, bringing this up to. And the number one thing is, they're going to need a living trust if they own a home. If they have a home, if they have investment properties, number one thing, as Michelle's saying, if they have a home, they qualify. They need to have a living trust in place, and it's all about having a living trust. And what's going to trigger probate is all about avoiding probate and the time and the expense and the hassles and the heartache of it. So if they have a home, if they have investment properties, if they own, a second home together with a family member, if they own a business, that's probably the number two. If they own a business, a lot of people don't realize businesses will go through probate as well. So if they own a business, that's someone you should be talking to about putting an estate plan in place, putting a living trust in place. If they have minor children, they should have a living trust. They don't want the courts to decide where their children would go should something happen to them. If they have special needs children or dependents, would be another reason. If they have assets, a certain amount of assets over in California, I think it's 145,000. Certain types of assets greater than 145,000, they need to have a living trust in place. If they are in a second.
John, so let's say that I have assets of 100,000, but my house is valued at $1 million.
They would want a living trust because of the home. And depending on what type of assets, qualified or non-qualified, that we can get into a little later or another town hall meeting. But, and I think we're going to be doing a funding webinar in a week or so, and that's probably going to be touched on by Rich and I think Michelle again.
Yeah.
So assets in California, back to the number one reason, a home. If a family's home is worth, if it's valued at $50,000 or more, and something should happen to them, that's going to trigger probate. So of course, every home in California, a shack is going to qualify as something that's going to trigger probate. So, that's going to do it. If people are in a second marriage, they're going to want to have a living trust to protect themselves and the children of the first marriage. And there's a lot of reasons, there's a lot of things as to why you would want a living trust, but the things that will trigger probate, again, a home, investment properties, businesses, minor children, special needs dependents, those are the number one reasons. Those are the top reasons. And a lot of people just don't know that.
Right. So a good example would be, so let's say, I'm looking, or I am a AmeriEstate business partner, and I'm a CPA. Right now would be a really good time because I'm starting to get appointments with my clients, and I go over and I see what they have. So as a CPA, you probably identified 90% of my business, right? So now when I'm meeting with them, I can ask them those questions when they come in. Do you have a living trust? If you don't, I've gone through my checklist. Yes, they own a home, they've got assets. Then I can start reaching out to them and giving them all the reasons why they need a living trust.
Absolutely. CPAs, financial advisors, realtors, mortgage professionals, on and on. They pretty much know. They're going to know the answers to the questions of who needs a living trust. They know they're going to own a home. They know they have an investment product. They have children. They know all that. So it's kind of a loaded question when you get to the, hey, can I ask, do you have a living trust in place? They probably know they don't. Then the second question is, can I ask why? And you see what the clients say. Mm-hmm. And then you let them know that this is a value add service that you can help them get started with the partnership that you have in place, being at AmeriEstate. So yeah, most of the professionals that we work with, they know their clients need the trust. It's just a matter of engaging, is bringing it up, letting them know that this is something I can help you put in place. It's critically important and much easier to complete than you may think.
Mm-hmm. And people, I would say one of the biggest factors that people don't do this is they're not educated. They might have heard about it somewhere, but they're not thinking about it. And so you as their advisor, whether you be a realtor, you be a financial advisor, you be a tax advisor, it's super important that you as a professional are talking about this. Maybe they're not going to do it the first time you talk about it, but when you talk to them again the next time, when are you going to start your living trust? I'm your advisor, and I'm worried about if something happens to you, because it's going to be a mess for me as well as your advisor, because I'm going to have to deal with whatever financials. If I'm a financial advisor, the money that I have investing for you is going to be stuck. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do. I'm not going to be able to access that money to help your kids or your beneficiaries or your minor children get access to money. It's going to be a mess. So it's up to, I'm worried because I'm involved with you as your advisor. So please let me help you get this started, and don't let them off the hook. If they say, well, let me talk to my husband about it. You know what? That's a great time to put a reminder to follow up with them, or tell them you're going to have, if you're a referral partner of ours, tell them you're going to have AmeriEstate reach out to them, because you're busy, you're doing taxes, you don't have time to follow up probably.
Yeah, good
Give
point.
it to us, put it through the business partner portal if you're a referral partner, and let us do that follow up for you. Because if you leave it up to your clients to get back to you, they're not going to.
Yeah. Till next year when
because they're off going to Tahiti or whatever's going on in their life. So I'm just saying, let us be a partner with you as well. If you're on our refer partner program, let us be your team, your back office, to help you help your clients, because we know how busy you are in your profession. Let us do our profession with your clients. Now, if you're one of our full circle agents, where you have been with us for a while and you do get volume, you're going to be the ones to have to follow up with them. and get them going. So it's a great, estate planning is a great way to stay in touch with your clients. And also remember, if your clients have existing trusts, a lot of those trusts are old and outdated.
Yeah.
It's a really, really critical thing. If you go further in that, ask the question, I see you guys have a living trust. When is the last time you updated that? And they say, oh, we set it up in 1999 or even 2005. Just say, have you ever updated it? Have you ever had that thing reviewed? And most of them will say no. It's so important because I'm telling you, a lot of the older trusts have provisions in there that if one spouse passes, the surviving spouse is going to be pretty upset when they have to do a division of the estate. And they really didn't need to do that. These divisions are super expensive. Nobody tells them when they set up these AB trusts that, oh, and by the way, it's going to be a minimum of $5,000, probably more like $20,000 to divide an estate.
Wow. Yeah.
The surviving spouse is not going to be happy at all. So I'm just
Good point.
letting you know that this is a huge critical, it's a mess when somebody passes and the surviving spouse is going, I need to make changes. I have grandkids now. I want to leave things to. I'm sorry, we can't change that for you because you need to divide that estate. And that's a long, arduous process and very, very expensive to do. So let's get those clients out of those AB old style trusts, update it with all the HIPAA language they need, all the provisions, and there's been a lot of language that's needs to be added to clients' trust for today's world.
You know, if I can add to that, kind of bring that back to the beginning, and that is, you know, bringing it up to the clients. And we work with a lot of different financial professionals from a lot of different backgrounds. And there's one thing that's consistent, no matter what their profession is, that makes a difference between those that work with us on a regular basis and those that don't, and those that take advantage of the importance of estate planning and helping their clients with it. And, you know, commercially, estate planning is getting a lot of airtime. You know, a lot of large institutions nowadays are promoting the importance of estate planning. So they're doing the work for you. It's just a matter of you bringing it up to your clients. But the difference, and our CEO, you know, Greg Reese, Michelle's brother, as he pointed out a long time ago, and as he identified after 25 years in the business, the difference between the folks that take advantage of this and really help their clients and those that don't are the ones that are proactive in bringing it up as opposed to reactive when the clients do. So be proactive and it will work and benefit you and your practice.
Great. Yeah. And we had a question come in from Sue. Hi, Sue. She was asking you, is there a fee to look at an old trust? And this is great to also even talk about the legal plan.
There is no fee if it's not an existing AmeriEstate client. All we ask is you get us a copy of the trust declaration and any amendments to that trust. Send it over via scan, mail it, however, fax it. It's just the declaration. I don't need the whole book. I don't need the powers of attorney. I need the declaration and I need to see the amendments. And we'll take a quick look at that for you and let you know what type of trust they have. And then we can do a quick review with the client as well and say, let's talk about this. Are these the things you still want to happen in your trust? And most of the time they'll say, no. And so most of the time those people are going to want to restate it. And we can definitely see right in there, hey, this is a trust that's going to be irrevocable upon the death of your spouse. Is that what you want? And if you don't, I highly recommend getting out of this style and going into a more friendly style that will be more beneficial to the surviving spouse. These old AB trusts, and another thing about some of these old trusts that were very, very popular in the early 2000s. I've seen them in 2015. I'm working with somebody today. They got a trust in 2050. It's an old AB style. I'm like, why? You know, it just doesn't make sense. And so like, we want to get out of that. I go, if one of you passes, the other one's going to have, it's going to be very expensive and your hands are going to be tied if you want to make any changes to your trust. And also if you need to reverse mortgage, it can be very challenging.
Yes.
If you're stuck in these AB trusts, And also, a lot of these AB trusts, when you divide it, it goes into the decedent side. You only get one step up in basis on this passing of the first spouse. If you understand basis and capital gains, you get to have the first step up. And let's say that trust goes on, and then the surviving spouse passes up here. Well, this asset's still valued down here, but they're going to sell it up here. There's going to be a capital gain. So that's a no-go. We don't want that.
Yeah.
So let us look at those trusts for free. It won't cost you anything. Just send it over to us. We'll let you know what they have. You can communicate back to your client about, AmeriEstate looked at this. This is the kind of trust you have. You probably want to check into restating that. What do you think? And we'll talk to them again. And if if they don't want to do it, sometimes people don't have the money to restate it. Of course, AmeriEstate's very affordable. But you know, some people just don't have the funds.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, there's not much we can do.
Yeah. So another question came in and says, wouldn't you just close that trust and open a new one if it's revocable?
Well, because the reason we don't do that most of the time is because their assets are already titled into it.
Okay.
And that's expensive to take a property out of a trust, because it's got to be one deed for $200 out of the trust back to the person, and then it's got to go back from that person into the new trust. There's no reason for it. We keep the same name and the same date as the existing trust because everything's titled into it. The bank accounts, properties, all that. And we just restate it, revamp it. We keep the name, we revamp it.
Got it.
Now, if I can, real quick, sometimes we'll take a
offer
look.
a free trust review, Nicole.
Yep.
And there are times, you know, Michelle, you can, you know, confirm this, but there are times we look at some clients' trust and they're not necessarily that dated, and they still, you know, are a good trust, but we may need to only update their powers of attorney. So that can be the same thing. It doesn't always just, you know, with an old trust, you know, default to a complete restatement. Sometimes it's advised, it's our opinion to the clients, our upper management's opinion to the clients, that they just put a new set, you know, updated set of powers of attorney in place for healthcare directives and asset management.
Right. A lot of times, you know, if that trust is viable and it's not an AB division and there's, you know, the language, and we can be able to tell what language still needs to be put in there. We oftentimes may be able to just add an addendum with the new updated language, like there's a HELOC language, there's distribution, there's accounting language, there's language that come up over the years that need to be added to some of the older trusts. But if the clients are like, no, everything's the way I want it, I want it to go to my kids. And if they pass, it goes to their kids, and everything is the way I want it with my successor trustees. Okay, well then we probably don't need to do anything. Sometimes we might want to update powers of attorney because those do get a little stale and old, the healthcare and the advanced healthcare directives and the power of attorney for asset management. Those need to be freshened up. I'd say 5 years, but you know, we deal with a lot of the older ones, you know, people never do anything and they're from 1999 and it's all we got. So it's what we have to work with. But sometimes those don't do the job that we need them to do when somebody is alive and they become incapacitated. There's not language in there to do incapacity planning. So.
Yeah. So what's the best way for our business partners to submit the trust to us for review?
I would say just email that trust over to apps at AmeriEstate.com. And just make a note on the email that you're sending that please have sales review this trust for me.
Perfect. Okay. So if everybody got that, submit them to apps, APPS at AmeriEstate.com
With a note.
with a note just asking for a trust review. Perfect. Great. Good. So John, I know you had a couple documents you wanted to share. Did you want me to go ahead and start sharing those?
Yeah, pull them up. I think you're going to have the next steps flyer and also the what's in an AmeriEstate Living Trust flyer as well. And these are two great client leave behinds. that our business partners can share with their clients, either through, if they're meeting in person, let's say, for example, CPAs these days, a lot of appointments are happening again. So they're good, handouts for our business partners to share with their clients, either, through handing them to them or through email. But it's really just showing, our 3 easy steps. This is good for the advisors to know, of course, new advisors that are working with us, as well as, of course, their clients. And you can see on the top of this one, our next steps flyer. It's what to expect during the estate planning process with AmeriEstate. And step 1, the trust advisor consultation. The clients ultimately, they first end up, they get over to us, and if our business partners are on our refer platform, the clients get, we're put in touch with the clients, or vice versa. And it starts with a free consultation with one of our trust advisors. And should the clients get started with us, we take them through an educational process and helping them with their decisions that go into their custom attorney prepared living trust. The next step for the clients would be their attorney consultation, which is conveniently completed over the phone. And so that would be step 2, where the attorney addresses all their questions, answers any legal questions they may have, and advises what type of trust that individual or family should be getting. From there, the attorney gives us direction, and we prepare the trust. It goes through several reviews and proofing stages as it's going through production. And then the final stage for the client is the delivery of their custom attorney prepared living trust or estate plan. So those are the 3 steps that the clients experience when working with AmeriEstate. And then on the bottom of this flyer, there's some questions and preparation that is good for the clients to, review and maybe discuss amongst, husband and wife, partners, whatever the case is, individuals, so they can be prepared with some of the questions that, decisions that go into their custom trust. So that's the next steps flyer. And then the other one, well, this is the common myths about, do it yourself, estate planning, and other myths that a lot of families, believe that isn't necessarily true, or things that families may do and thinking they're going to do their own little estate planning by, let's say, adding a family member to title, which is the worst thing they could do. But we find that to be, can be fairly common. So this is a good, flyer as well, that just covers some of the pitfalls of the do-it-yourself models and things that people believe. And then, which, I won't get into, but that's a great flyer that we provide our business partners, and they can in turn share with their clients. And then another one is this one here, the 7 things you need to know about estate planning. Again, this touches on some of the things we first talked about when we got started today, and that is, who needs a living trust? What's going to trigger probate? If you own a home, if you have a business, if you have investment properties, minor children, et cetera, et cetera. So this is, the 7 things you need to know. And again, at the bottom, things that you should consider for your that go into the decisions of your trust. And as it says there, don't put off protecting your family and assets another day. Call us, call your financial advisor, your advisor, whoever's working with you. So this is a great flyer to share with clients.
Great. And John, where can our business partners find these 3 documents?
These and much more are housed in our exclusive business partner website at www.ameriestate.biz. That's biz. And those are in the toolkit that exists within that business partner website. So for those professionals that are listening in today that are new to learning about AmeriEstate, and or if you're with us and you haven't gone to our exclusive business partner website yet, please do register. I'll see who's on there and approve it. And you can go in, you create a password, a username, it'll send you a confirmation email. You click on it, you go back and log in under your account information. And within there, you can create custom flyers, you can send emails. There's seminar and webinar material that you can utilize if you're into doing or want to get into doing seminars or webinars on estate planning. And again, the toolkit is where a lot of this is housed. We have information in English and Spanish, a lot of great information. And this is the website that Caroline mentioned is being rebuilt, and we hope to launch, sometime this summer. So
Yes.
it's in there. That's where you can also submit your clients as well. And with all this information, for those that are new to learning about this today, you can always reach out to myself, and I'll walk you through all this and help you get up to speed and started, and answer any additional questions you may have that we're not covering today.
Great, great. We have another question. Has AE offered social media images to share as a post? We began doing this, and then we pulled back on it a little bit because we didn't find that our business partners were utilizing the service that we were providing. So we haven't created anything new recently. If you have specific social media posts or images or things like that you're looking for, you can reach out to me directly, and I can help assist you with creating those. And you can reach me at Caroline, CAROLINE @AmeriEstate.com. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Very good point. Also, so we have, our LinkedIn, this will probably be better for everybody. Our LinkedIn page has a lot of great posts that we put on there. And it would be great for you to go onto our LinkedIn, follow us, and then you can share the blog posts that we do. Because we do at least we do about 4 new blog posts every month. And you can find our blog posts on AmeriEstate.com. And you just scroll over onto the information bar, and it says blogs, and you can share those directly from within AmeriEstate.com, or you can go onto your browser, steal the URL, just copy the URL, copy that over into your Facebook or into your LinkedIn, drop it in, and it'll automatically populate. But the best way is just to follow us on both LinkedIn and on Facebook, and then you could just share them directly to your network.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I share my Facebook posts in my personal space. And so it's funny because I'm from Costa Mesa, get around a little bit. And Pete, when I go to a party or whatever, everybody knows us at AmeriEstate because we've done half the room's trust.
Yeah.
And they see my posts, and when they're thinking about doing it, they call me.
Yeah.
So that's what it's for, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, and I share a lot of I mean, we have some wonderful posts.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Yeah, we've got great resources
Already written for you.
Yeah, and that makes you look super smart because you're just, like I said, copy and paste the link, or just go on and share it onto your LinkedIn and to your Facebook. Great. All right, let's see. Gosh, you guys have had such great questions. I love it. Let's see. Was there anything else we wanted to cover today, team?
I would ask, those that are listening in today, visit our company homepage at AmeriEstate.com. It's a great website. There's so much helpful information there. There's a search option that you can do to get, to dig into certain questions about estate planning, but AmeriEstate.com is a great resource for a lot of information, of course, related to estate planning and things that your clients may ask. So you take advantage of that as well.
Yeah, and I'm just sharing that with everybody right now. So here's our website. See how easy it is right here. We've got estate planning. We've got all information that you need to know or your clients need to know. And then here's our news and blogs section right here. And you can see that we're constantly posting, and you can just go ahead and share them. Or like I said, so you can share them within Facebook or within AmeriEstate.com, or you can copy the link. So it's super easy. Well, very good. All right. Oh, we had another question come in. Let's see. What states are we in, John and Michelle? Do you want to just cover what states we're in?
Sure. California is our home. And we're in Arizona, Texas, Tennessee, Virginia, and Maryland.
Yes.
We are looking to get into Nevada. So we'll keep you posted on that. And I think we've talked about Florida.
Yes, yes. We've been talking about Florida, so we should have an update on that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, very good. If there's something particular that you'd like to have us bring up in our next town hall meeting, either reach out to myself, Michelle, or John, and we're happy to go ahead and bring it up. And as John mentioned, next Thursday, the 15th, we have a webinar that talks about funding. And Michelle will be a part of that.
be there.
Be there. That's
This is
like,
good
oh my
stuff
gosh.
You all need to know.
Yeah, and to register for that, just go on to our homepage, just go on to AmeriEstate.com on our homepage at the very top. There is a registration link. So just go ahead and register for that.
And you probably have gotten emails too, so
Yes.
just click on the email. We'd love for you to join because this is the toughest
Mhm.
part of what an estate plan is all about, is people have no idea once they get a trust what they do with it. And so we need to be constantly educating people on, hey, you know, did you refi and pull that property out? That's the biggest issue that's going on. All these 2.5%, 3% mortgages are sitting outside of the, not the mortgage
Yeah.
itself, but the house. The lender made them
Yeah.
pull it out of the
Yeah,
trust.
when they refied, yeah.
And they never put it back in because the lenders don't want to do it and escrow doesn't want to do it. Call AmeriEstate,
Yes.
get that property back in trust. Make sure you talk to your clients about that. That's huge. But we're going to discuss all that next week and
Yep.
how, what's the difference between funding life insurance,
Yes.
qualified nurse versus non-qualified accounts. This is very confusing information to people. And so we need to kind of bring it down into a layman's term so they can visualize what goes into a trust and what doesn't
Yes.
and how that works. So that's going to be a good webinar next week. So we hope to see you.
Exactly. Well, good. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We look forward to this. A recording of this webinar will be sent out to everybody that's part of this, and that's also in our database, and that'll go out in about 1 to 2 days. All right. Thank you. And again, if you have any questions, please give us a call.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.